Orange County IDA. This is a public hearing starting at 12:03 p.m. for Two Girls, One Boy Holdings. We all know it is a boutique hotel planned for Main Street here in Cornwall. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please, if you would rise. And I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Just like to explain how it's going to go. I don't think it'd be take too much of your time, but we want to make sure that everyone understands everything perfectly. So we're going to start with reading the public hearing. The notice, the official notice, it really kind of explains what the benefits that are being sought, describes the project a little bit, and a little bit more legalese. So bear with me on that. I'd like to have the applicant just give us a very brief overview. This isn't a planning board hearing or anything like that, so won't get into any specifics, but just an overview of the project. And then I'm going to take just a minute to explain the benefits. I've actually appreciate getting a number of calls and a couple of visitors. People wanted to understand this better. What were the benefits being requested? And exactly, what is the IDA considering? So I'd like to just take a minute and do that. We also do a cost-benefit analysis using a tool that IDAs around the state utilize to assess really the benefits that are being provided and what is the benefit that's being returned to the town and to the county. So we'll talk about that. Then we'll open it up for comments. So anyone that would like to speak, ask you to come to kind of this fence here and speak there, and we're not afraid to have you come closer. We just want to have the camera on you because we are live streaming this like we do all our public meetings. So we'll open it up for comments, then we'll close it at the end. And I want to be clear that even though we're going to open and close the public hearing today, we will accept written comments up until our next board meeting on April 16th, Wednesday, April 16th. So we'll accept written comments before that from you or others in the community. And I think that's about it. So I do ask if you want to make public comment that you please come and sign in, just so we can have everyone's name and it goes in the public record. There will be a full transcript of this hearing. You see we have our stenographer here, and that will be provided to our board of directors and also will be on our website. Just want to remind folks that everything is on our website. Our intention is to be completely transparent about this project, about the incentives with this hearing. You can find the application, the original application, which we do have a couple copies of. You can find the cost-benefit analysis, which we have plenty of copies for if you want to take a look at that. We also have copies of the public hearing notice. And everything that the board considers and acts upon is all on the website under this project. If you ever have any trouble, and again, we have a brand new website. We're trying to make it even more transparent, but we're still ironing out some kinks. So if you have any questions after the fact, feel free to reach out to our office. I will personally talk to you and walk you through everything at all. So thank you. So I mentioned the handouts that are there. Ms. Dana, if you are going to give public comment, we just ask if you sign in. That's all. So I'm going to start with reading the notice here now, and then we'll get to the applicant. Again, bear with me on the legalese. Notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to Article 18A of the New York State Municipal Law will be held by the Orange County Industrial Development Agency, known as the agency, on March 27, 2025 at 12 p.m. at Cornwall Town Hall, 183 Main Street, Cornwall, New York, 12518. The public hearing will concern the agency providing financial assistance for a project more fully described below. Two Girls, One Boy Holdings, LLC, and F&B on Main, LLC, that's the applicant, has requested that the agency provide financial assistance for a proposed project in the town of Cornwall, New York, consisting of redevelopment of an underutilized property located on 317 Main Street, Cornwall, New York, known as the premises, in the town of Cornwall, known as the project. The estimated cost of the project is approximately $12,281,959. The project will include the construction and redevelopment of the premises to be used as a hotel facility and administrative offices, and the acquisition of machinery and equipment related thereto. The requested financial assistance will include 1, the providing of an exemption from sales tax up to $465,481.25 for amounts expended for the renovation, furnishing, and equipping of the facility for expenditures up to $5,729,000, and 2, the providing of an exemption from mortgage recording tax in the amount of $75,316 for a mortgage secured by the premises in an amount not to exceed
$10,586,056.95. Copies of the applicant's application for financial assistance, including an analysis of the costs and benefits of the proposed project, will be available for review by interested persons from the date of the publication of this notice to the date of the public hearing for the project at the offices of the agency at 4 Crotty Lane, Suite 100, New Windsor, New York, 12553, during normal business hours upon reasonable notice to the agency. The telephone number of the agency is 845-220-2208. The agency will, at the above stated time and place, hear all persons with views in favor of or opposed to the providing of the financial assistance described herein. A representative of the agency will be at the above stated time and place to hear oral comments and accept written comments from all persons with views in favor of or opposed to the granting of any of the foregoing financial assistance or the location or nature of the project. This is dated February 28th, 2025 by the Orange County Industrial Development Agency. That is our public notice. Do want to give the applicant just a minute or so just to give a brief overview. We have Mr. Bart Lansky representing Two Girls, One Boy Holdings.
Yep.
Bart, if you just wanted to address
the audience,
the public
the
here. Actually, why don't you look in the camera,
Okay.
everyone here can hear.
Good afternoon, Bart Lansky for Two Girls, One Boy Holdings LLC. Most of the audience knows it's a boutique Hilton hotel, 52 rooms, with a restaurant with just more than 100 seats. And we're seeking sales tax and mortgage recording tax, and we are not seeking a pilot from the IDA, and we're here to listen. So we're interested in what the public has to say.
Very good, thanks very much. Do want to explain what the benefits are being requested. Take just another minute on that. As Mr. Lansky said, no pilots being requested, so we're not abating or phasing in the new property taxes that will result from this. They will go right to the full assessed value immediately. They are requesting sales tax exemption and mortgage recording tax exemption. On the sales tax exemption, of course, sales tax in Orange County is 8.125%. We have the ability to exempt the applicant for that, for building materials for the project, for furniture, fixtures, equipment, etc. They are requesting $465,000 roughly, $465,000 in sales tax exemption. Just to explain that really what the municipalities are giving up, half of that goes to the state, and half goes to Orange County, $233,000. There is no requirement or formal practice that the county share any of that, but in Orange County, especially under County Executive Steve Newhouse, they do share it with our local municipalities, 42 that we have. Typically it goes per capita, so typically the 3 cities in Orange County get the lion's share of that. But really doing a rough calculation, it seems pretty clear that the town would get $20,000 or less of that sales tax exemption. It's a big impact to the project, nearly $500,000 in savings to help with their bottom line. But again, probably less than $20,000, maybe considerably less than $20,000 that's being given up by the town there. And why would the IDA consider that? Well, they are going to generate new sales tax. They saw in their projection first year they expect to generate $475,000 in new sales tax. So in that alone, there's also bed tax, the benefit to Main Street, as well as the new property taxes. There's also mortgage recording tax being requested. That in the county is 1.05% of the principal of a commercial mortgage. So the exemption they're seeking is about $75,000. The town share we estimate somewhere just over $50,000. So the town, if you want to look at it, is giving up something about $60,000 to $70,000 in unrealized tax revenue. Again, for the benefits that are described. And the last thing I'll mention is local labor, that any incentives received by a project requires that they build locally. And that's not just Orange County. In our busiest times, we couldn't possibly provide enough labor, but it is actually a workshed that we define as our 8-county area, basically going from Sullivan County and Delaware County down to Westchester. So it must be constructed by at least 85% local laborers on that project. So that's an explanation of the benefits. Again, there is a cost-benefit analysis that we run, just getting to kind of the bottom line here. The benefit to cost ratio, so the benefit to the local municipality versus the cost, what you're giving up. The state is 3 to 1, so they're receiving 3 times the benefit for the sales tax they're losing. Locally, it's a ratio of 60 to 1. So 60 times the incentives that are being offered would be returned in economic benefit in terms of job earnings, taxes generated, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you, Ms. Dana. I think we're good there. So that is available if you want it. And once again, we will accept written comments until April 16th. So that benefits. At this time, we're going to open it up for anyone that wants to make public comment. I'm not putting a time limit right now, but just asking, for just everyone to be reasonable given the crowd here. Would you like to start, ma'am, or a question?
I just had a question.
Sure.
You were talking about the cost-benefit analysis.
Sorry.
I'm Elizabeth Delaney.
Thank you.
I just had a question on the cost-benefit analysis. What period of time does that cover? Is that annual? Is that a 10-year life of the project? What are we talking about?
This is a 10-year projection.
10-year projection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over that time, economic benefits over that time. So, would you like to speak?
Yep.
If you would just come, state your name, please, for the record, and give us your comment. Thanks.
Nancy Bryan. I was under the understanding that the legal notice was put in the record,
Yes.
and so that's a concern. I don't know who guided you. This is not directed at the IDA. I don't know who directed you to put it in the record and not the Cornwall local, but it makes me kind of think that maybe someone didn't want full disclosure on this hearing. I am not in any way in support of this project getting any financial breaks or financial support. I have made most meetings and workshops they have presented at. Their plans are not the same as they first presented at their first public hearing, and although many in the community have asked for a second public hearing, that has been conveniently ignored. The facade is now industrial chic, warehousey looking. The parking exemptions asked for will most likely cripple existing Main Street businesses, and Main Street residents will have no place to park. This group over a year ago presented a plan for a municipal lot on an adjacent property. That thought apparently has evaporated. Every step of the way they have argued about emergency access and keeping a 26-foot access to the building for fire access. The building inspector finally said at a meeting, 26 feet is 26 feet. This project will not revitalize Main Street, as with the exception of this building and only one other building further down on Main Street is a beautiful street of small businesses and an older feel to the buildings. It is thriving. I have lived here almost 50 years, and my husband is a small business owner on Main Street. When asked at the last planning board meeting about supporting the events Cornwall has during the year where Main Street is shut down from the traffic circle to Willow Avenue for a few hours, and would they work with the town, the answer was that they couldn't lose access off of Main Street. I take that as a vote for no support for this town. They have been asked a multitude of questions from the planning board, and they have not provided substantial answers. They were told to bring their restaurant operator to their next meeting. The next meeting happened, and they did not bring the restaurant operator. Perhaps that new restaurant operator is not the restaurant operator anymore.
Brian, I don't mean to interrupt,
Yep.
but the scope of the
I know,
hearing
I know.
are on the incentive. So I want to give you a little room,
Yep.
but do you have several pages where you're not
Nope.
talking about the
Nope,
incentives?
I'm almost
Okay, thank
done.
you. Continue, please.
If I had a vote, I would vote no. This hotel project is not about goodness for this town. It is about doing what they want and attempting to circumvent honesty, integrity, and policy every step of the way. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Dana, please.
Yeah, so, it's awkward for me to talk with my back to.
It's a little bit. Maybe
Sorry
come
about
around
that.
in the entrance and like Mark did, maybe both ways, please. Thanks.
So I'm Amanda Dana, I run tourism and film for Orange County, New York, and.
You're not on camera, Amanda. I'm so sorry. Just a little closer. There we go.
Sorry, guys.
There you go.
I'm gonna talk to the wall. Hi there. So I support.
Amanda, one last thing. I'm so sorry. The stenographer can't hear you, actually.
I
Go
can't
ahead.
hear you when you're back.
Okay, Amanda Dana. I am the Director of Tourism and Film for Orange County, New York. I stand here in support of this project, and I've been listening to all the comments relative to this project. I've been listening to this project for a couple of years. The one thing I can say is, in my experience, which is 5 years economic development, 7 years tourism film, I was president of Hudson Valley Tourism as well. These kind of projects are desperately needed in townships, very much like Cornwall. Just meeting with Warwick, they would beg for this type of project in Warwick, New York. This is something that does revitalize towns, has been proven time and time again. Of course, a well-run ship is requested, and working with a community is also requested. However, the benefits really do outweigh the incentives that they're seeking. The other side of this is that our big partner over the hill, West Point, they have many types of conferences, they have many events, sporting events. This type of facility would greatly benefit from those types of events. In fact, I was just on the phone with a big conference we're bringing in, and they asked specifically, can we go into Cornwall and stay? Literally this morning. And now the answer will be yes, we do have those rooms. Now, our short-term rentals do provide options, but 74% of people still will travel using hotel motel. So it's growing the industry, but not at the pace we thought. That's short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRBOs. So I wish you luck. I hope this project goes forward. I'm in favor of this, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christina. Anyone else? Please. Please just state your name.
Sure. I'm Virginia Scott. I'm a councilwoman for the town of Cornwall. First of all, Mr. Fioravanti, I thank you for meeting with me in person. We looked at some of the concerns I had, especially with the mortgage tax. I just want to point out, and maybe I can get a correction on the year. What year did you buy the property? Was it 2018?
I think so.
Okay. So in 2018, I want to really just, I'm worried about the money, and Cornwall does not have a lot of rateables. We have more than 33% of the properties in Cornwall are tax exempt. We have a population heavy in seniors and veterans. We just granted a number of exemptions. This year in our budget, we have allocated $300,000 for mortgage tax. What we have seen in our budgets is the fact that that is declining. We have a lot of individuals or businesses that are buying properties with cash. So we are losing out. It's very hard to predict. So based on this year, if we were to, with our $300,000 that has been budgeted for mortgage tax, we would lose out on approximately 18% of that revenue. So that's the first thing. As far as assessment, let me finish talking. As far as the assessments, the assessed value of this property in 2018 was $543,000. The town of Cornwall actually, in negotiation with it wasn't tax association, but we did readjust the assessed value due to the oil contamination and remediation to $333,000. So I think that's a significant reduction we have had given already to help the property owner clean and remediate the property. So they have enjoyed some tax benefits from this. In addition, I understand this came to my mailbox the other day, and I did reach out to you, Mr. Fioravanti. Now that the property owner, you have every right to do this, but you're seeking reimbursement for cleaning up the property, if I'm correct, this statement. So we as a town, we gave a reduction in, an assessment in taxes because of the cleanup, but you're going to, and I'm sure it's legal, you're recouping that money. What I'm saying is the sales tax revenue, I really don't have any problem with that because the county, we benefit from places like Legoland and all the different hotels and businesses, Woodbury Commons. I'm more concerned about the mortgage tax, and I would think as a good neighbor that part should be taken out because that really does impact by 18% our bottom line. The last thing I want to get to, the financial commitment that are here. Is there a letter from the bank confirming this mortgage is?
We don't have it in our packet.
Oh, so you don't have a
We
commitment
don't have a
letter?
copy, they have a term sheet from the bank that they've been
Okay.
working with.
I just want to clarify, you're not speaking for the town council, you're speaking
No,
as an
because
individual.
I don't wanna be sued, so the
No,
town
no,
is
because
sued myself.
when you started, it only,
All right,
it gave that
I will
impression.
say I'm speaking as a resident.
as a resident.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. But again, this was fact, I'm not making this up. I wanna talk about, let's see, I just lost my train, okay. The other thing I wanted, so is there any kind of, I guess I'm looking to make sure there's a financial commitment. This is a big project, and obviously, we all want this to be successful, right? Because I know there's been a lot of, like, more than 2 years of progress, and, you know, there's been a lot of work by the town to work with the business, and I wanna see you to be successful in that. I will continue, the other thing I wanna talk about, because I read about this all the time, the job creation, all right? For those of you who don't know, the median household income supposedly is 118,639, that's from the New York State, from the census. We have 16 and 26%, if we add that up, that is 42% are under $100,000. And when I looked at the jobs that were being provided, these are not livable wage jobs. We have, production line workers. I think the general manager is the only one with a full-time position that is actually within that realm. I'm concerned about that because none of these employees can actually live in Cornwall. Because if you base some of these salaries, it's over $17,000 just in rent. And if someone's making $31,000, they're not going to be able to live here in Cornwall. So I'm really hoping that the local employees can stay local, because if not, they're gonna have to commute from other areas, and I do think that will exacerbate the parking situation. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything you wanted to clarify based on that? We don't want to back and forth, but if there's anything to
Yeah,
clarify.
no, just that it's exactly these types of incentives which will make the project successful. And of course,
The jobs, that's what that concerns me.
yeah, but the greater thing, the mortgage recording tax and the sales use tax, those are benefits that we're applying for so that we can make this project successful. Similar to the brownfield credit program as well. And that's based upon not only things in the past, but things in the future,
Right.
additional expenditure. So
Okay.
it's something, it's part of this whole package that we have here
Right.
to make it a good project.
And I would agree with you, but you're already getting $1.2 million of taxpayer money to actually help with this project, and there may be more coming.
From
And
the
what I'm
state,
saying,
just to be clear, from Empire State Development.
yes, from the Empire State Development. So what I'm saying is you're already getting incentives, and that comes from someone, that comes from people like, you know, us. And what I'm saying is, I just hope there's finances to actually, if I were going to build this project, I would make sure I had money, you know, and not working with other people's money. I know that's how business is done, you get grants and incentives, but I also wanna see a buy-in from this project
I
as
mean,
well.
there is a substantive.
I guess the numbers I'd like to see.
Yeah, there's a substantive buy-in already, just to get to here, and it's gonna continue. And we have a commitment letter from a local bank, and, you know, we're comfortable with the total expenditures, even though some things are changing. There's, you know, tariffs are changing, and there's other components which are changing, but we are applying for the incentives which New York State has, and it's part of what we think is gonna make it a successful project. And we thank everyone for their time.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Anyone at all? All right, we will close this public hearing. It's 12:27 p.m. Just as a reminder, all the information about this project and anyone we consider is on our website. I did not give that address before, but for anyone especially listening online, www.ocnyida.com. Go to our project section. You can find this either under Cornwall Hotel or Two Girls, One Boy, the official name. Any questions on that, please give me a call, 845-234-2666. 213, I'm forgetting what, 4123, jeez, for my own phone number, I don't call it very much. 234-4123. 4132? Holy cow. 845-234-4132. All right. Okay. Guess I should learn our phone number. And again, we'll take written comments on the project, on the incentives aspect of the project, until Wednesday, April 16th. Till then, this public hearing is closed. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great day. Thank you.